Hello, this is PG, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Max Payne on the Xbox Series X. The game was originally released on the Xbox back in 2001. Max Payne is a film noir inspired third-person shooter developed by Remedy Entertainment. You play as Max, a police detective turned vigilante as he seeks out criminals who did him wrong. Okay, gameplay. Well, the game sees Max exploring tight linear environments, getting into tense gunfights and navigating the terrain as he chases down the bad guys. Max can dodge, jump, use a variety of firearms or projectiles, but more importantly, Max has a special bullet time ability. Bullet time slows down the action and stays that way as long as Max's meter isn't depleted. At the time, it was a truly innovative and original gameplay feature that was a game changer and something many other games have copied over the years. It was like being in your own film noir revenge movie mixed in with The Matrix, and it made for some truly unforgettable moments. But I would say combat did have some issues, like the fact you could only use hip fire and there was no over the shoulder button to get more precise aiming. It wasn't something that ruined the game as you quickly got used to it, but it definitely would have helped. The game world is set in a gritty inner city with tight and narrow locations for Max to explore. It was tense, engaging, and you always felt at risk as you never knew what was around the next corner. Some parts of the environment could also be interacted with, destroyed, or used even as makeshift sort of weapons. It's also worth noting, due to the bullet time combat, gritty game world and film noir story, these things made Max Payne one of, if not the most cinematic game of all time. There were so many cool moments, whether you're dual wielding Uzis, bobbing in and out of cover with a sawn-off, or just lighting up a group of bad guys with a Molotov. Guns and ammo can be found from fallen foes, but you did also have to explore the environment a bit. You needed painkillers. Painkillers were basically the game's version of medical packs. One thing I really liked was how the narrative was told via some wonderful graphic novel interludes. Every so often the action cuts away and you get this beautifully presented comic strip detailing how Max's journey is progressing. It was perfectly in tune with the neo-noir styling and something I really enjoyed looking through after I completed the game back in the day. In terms of the quality of the story, it's classic, revenge, conspiracy film noir stuff, but despite it being a bit formulaic, it felt in tune again with the action at all times. Finally, on gameplay, it's worth noting that at first it does feel a bit awkward control wise, but like most great games, once you get in the flow, my god, rewarding as hell. Visually, by modern standards, it shows its age. Flat details, flat colours, doesn't snap or pop out at you anymore, but the dark film noir atmosphere, the gritty environments, they're perfect for the story, and who doesn't love the slick smoothness of that bullet time? In terms of sound, the music and effects are of a high standard. The voice acting in general is okay, but one voice actor who does not disappoint is the lead character, played by James McCaffrey. For my money, he's one of the greatest voice actors in video game history and perfectly delivers every line with gravitas, depth, and a richness that's about as good as it gets.
They were all dead. The final gunshot was an exclamation mark to everything that had led to this point. I released my finger from the trigger, and then it was over.
So, what is the verdict? Max Payne was a game that came out of nowhere but quickly became one of the most iconic video games of all time. From the amazing bullet time action, to the film noir inspired graphic novel presentation, to the tight and gritty environments. Each piece of the puzzle was perfectly crafted to make a truly wonderful game that spawned a marvellous trilogy of noir crime adventures. You can often tell how good older games were by what they did to the industry on a whole, regardless of how well the game actually played. Max Payne introduced bullet time, which features in almost every game these days. It raised the bar in terms of storytelling, it raised the bar in terms of presentation, and it has definitely helped shape the industry over the last 2 decades. I loved it at the time, and playing through it again, it just brought back so many good memories. Yes, there are some technical issues, yes there are some glitches, and the controls could have been better, but as an experience it's still one of my favourites from the early 2000s. Scoring, Max Payne gets 9 out of 10. That was the review. Thank you for watching. This is PG signing off. Cheers.